The 8th Parliament is one that is near hung, as the numbers are split on either side, 137, 137, with one independent MP who actually leans towards the majority side. There are a number of court cases. Key among these is the dual citizenship case involving the Asin North Member of Parliament, Jachi Kwesen, who is actually currently challenging a Cape Coast High Court ruling that bars him from holding himself as a Member of Parliament. Another issue that really troubles the figures in Parliament is the issue of absenteeism. And then the Speaker of Parliament has actually dragged some 3 members, the Asin Central MP Kennedy Ejapong, Dome-Kwabenya MP Sarah Adwoa-Safo, and Henry Quartey to the Privileges Committee for absenting themselves for more than 15 sittings. And so these issues really tend to affect or tilt the numbers either way based on which side has the figures. On this edition of the City Newsroom, we're looking at the possibility of a by-election, but let's start off from Parliament, where the Speaker, Alban Sumana Kingsford Babin, has dragged some 3 members of Parliament to the Privileges Committee over their absence from 15 parliamentary sittings. Now, he is expecting a report from the committee 2 weeks after the House reconvenes following recess.
A former Member of Parliament, Ras Mubarak, petitioned the Speaker of Parliament demanding the referral of 4 MPs to the Privileges Committee for breaking the rules of the House on absenteeism. In a formal communication to the House on Tuesday, the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, referred 3 of the MPs, Sarah Adwoa-Safo, Henry Quartey, and Kennedy Ejapong, to the Privileges Committee for absenting themselves for more than 15 sittings of Parliament.
The evidence provided me by the Table Office indicates that 3 honourable members have so far absented themselves in this meeting for more than 15 sitting days without permission, as recorded in the votes and proceedings. And I'll proceed to mention the names of the 3 members. The first is Honorable Sarah Adwoa-Safo. The second is Honorable Henry Quartey. And the third is Honorable Kennedy Ejapong. Consequently, as is my understanding of the provisions of Article 97(1)(c) and Order 16(1) of the Standing Orders of Parliament, and the decision of the Court of Appeal in the case of Professor Stephen Kweku Asare and the Attorney General and 3 others, I hereby refer the said honourable members to the Committee of Privileges for consideration and report to the House. Since today is the last sitting day of the meeting, I refer it to the committee, and I expect that the committee will submit its report 2 weeks after the House reconvenes.
Some of the MPs were not happy with the decision of the Speaker. The Minority Chief Whip, Mubarak Muntaka, threatened to file a substantive motion to challenge the Speaker's directive.
Every application to Parliament shall, and I think the word there is shall, be in the form of a petition. And every petition must be presented by a Member of Parliament, who shall be responsible for the observance of the rules contained in Appendix A. Mr. Speaker, I heard you said, you yourself alluded to the fact that members of Parliament could raise matter that could be referred to privileges, and civil society could equally do same. Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect to your office, I disagree with you vehemently when you, Mr. Speaker, want to do that yourself. Because there has to be a Member of Parliament who has to do that according to our rules. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable member, read the standing order again.
Mr. Speaker, I will be careful to listen.
Read the standing order again.
Mr. Speaker, it will be good to listen to me. When I'm done, you have the privilege to make your
Minority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, you have to first
read the standing orders again.
Mr. Speaker, I have read what I want to read, and I've stopped where I want to stop.
Honorable member,
you listen to me, and when you hear me,
will you resume your seat?
You have to hear me first.
Will you resume your seat?
Mr. Speaker, you have to hear me first.
Will you resume your seat?
Mr. Speaker, we heard you in silence. Please. No. Mr. Speaker, we heard you in silence. Mr. Speaker, it is only fair that you hear us, and when we are done, after the ruling and the decision to be taken, Mr. Speaker, is absolutely yours. But to listen to us, Mr. Speaker, you must listen to us.
The part of your ruling or your message which indicates that after the Privileges Committee, the report is supposed to be brought here to be voted upon, is not in tandem with the Constitution. That's without prejudice. Because 971C does not. It ends at the Privileges Committee. And so for you to say that it should come here, I want to draw attention that it's going to be unconstitutional.
The elders in our society say that even when you are going to slaughter a chicken, you give it water to drink first. Natural justice. Here, the other side. Please, I know what I'm about.
Two of the MPs, Kennedy Ejapong and Henry Quartey, were later cited in the House during proceedings. Reporting from Parliament, my name is Ni Ayukwe Okain for City News.
Thank you very much, Ni Ayukwe Okain, there with that report on the proceedings on the floor of the House. But following the referral of these three members of Parliament by the Speaker to the Privileges Committee, we've seen or saw two of them show up in the House. That's the Ayawaso Central MP, Henry Quartey, who doubles as the Greater Accra Regional Minister, and the Asin Central Member of Parliament, Kennedy Ohene Ejapong. We also saw the embattled Asin North MP. All attempts to speak to these members of Parliament proved futile as they declined to comment on the matter. Now, still absent from the House is the Dome-Kwabenya MP, Sarah Adwoa Safo, who, of course, has not shown up in the House. So, really, the issue of the absence of Sarah Adwoa Safo, Member of Parliament from Dome-Kwabenya, seems to have gained national attention. But let's go into the constituency. City News' Fred Duho is there at Dome-Kwabenya, and he brings us a report on really what the constituents make of the continued absence of their Member of Parliament. Fred, what are the constituents of Dome-Kwabenya saying?
We are here at Domi to find out from the constituents what they really make of this pronouncement by the Speaker of Parliament.
The Speaker of Parliament can be said or say, or the more call no could be said the NT no more Parliament. They are made to say, a no. See a co school say, Obi absent or banner say, or betchere, the NT no Tiffy, a tossumua, fine, and tossumua any action. Because or castle or quaco. Mejitum say ache. Last year, last 2 years, election no. Then say onyim, ne campaign yemu kra no. Yemu say onyim ba oba de awo ntimi man no adwuma wo ye no. Ntimi nyini mfiri na adwuma wo ye de oye aha na konwa ne de MPP omatuaka. Ne mo anu so nkyere say atotuaka. Na no say facility ni say eye one kasa pocket how a obesi use money we see eno de penisa.
Ajasa for apa de the whole Dome de me pronounce class will be our Domeha. Me pronounce on Pabat. I do a me be brave say 1 year dear. Again, only penny for asem crampoa. Yen so yen to abama so only asemana. One to madam in Pamaka she in Pine and saying, Enti me mode Odona from me mokakra. Nemono nti me kwa koja ba manisi. No way. Any is them to ba manisi. E go pembra me well asase. Nemo patuga just for them to ba no bio. If them to man obey disappoint me.
Se o school e say who say absent there enye because anytime e be mark register no. Anytime be e be mark register no. E say we present. Ana me boa. But say ba no say ye be free register. Absent. Yeah, time we are absent. Yeah, absent. Yeah, smart. And my bet you of you, but we don't see her. And the Omushi show by Yen Oma Yenu Sebia. So, yeah, absent 15 days. Yes, Yenu.
Those were some residents and constituents from the Dome-Kwabenya constituency expressing their views and their disquiet about the fact that their MP has been absent from Parliament for some time now. My name is Fred Duo, reporting from Dome-Kwabenya for City News.
The continuous absence from the House by the Member of Parliament for Dome-Kwabenya, Sarah Ajwa Safo, has generated a lot of interest from persons in various sectors, including the parliamentarians themselves. Now, one such person is the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Draman, and he speaks to us on the issue.
What is happening now in Parliament regarding the 3 honourable members who have been dragged to the Privileges Committee, I believe constitutes a test case. For the first time, we are going to watch very carefully to see how this plays out. And it's a test case, I think, mainly because of one individual, the Honourable Ajwa Safo, who, amongst the 3 of them, is the one that you realize even amongst her own colleague MPP MPs, they are calling for her head and calling for her removal from Parliament. You know, over the years, from the 5th Parliament up until now, there's been attempts to deal with this issue of absenteeism, but speaker after speaker, they've not succeeded in dealing with this issue. Now, it is biting them where it hurts most. We all remember issues about quorum, the issues about numbers, and so on. And we would watch closely to see how this plays out within the Privileges Committee.